Hydration is extremely important when it comes to performance. Being even slightly dehydrated can decrease your energy levels as well as leave you more prone to injury and disease. But how much water do you actually need to drink? Let's dive in. Hi everyone, Floyd Meyer here. The common wisdom when it comes to hydration is that we need to be drinking about 8-ounce glasses each day. And that comes out to about 2 liters. And while this is a good rule of thumb for someone who is sedentary and staying inside all day, like most topics when it comes to health and human optimization, there is a lot of individual variability. So let's say that we have someone who is, 5'2", so we have a smaller person and they are sedentary and they are staying inside all day long and they're in a cooler climate. Now this person may only need to take in about 1.5 liters each day in order to prevent themselves from becoming dehydrated. But now if we're talking about a 6-foot tall athlete who is exercising for multiple hours outside, they may need to take in 5, 6, maybe even 7 liters of water just to prevent themselves from becoming dehydrated to the point where it would be impacting their performance. Now, according to the Sports and Nutrition Handbook, they set the recommendations and they said that men need to take in about 3.7 liters of water each day and women need to take in about 2.7 liters of water each day. And so if you go back to the 8-ounce glasses, that is not going to be enough to just for the basic recommendations of preventing people from becoming dehydrated. Now, it's important to point out that when they're talking about these recommendations, they're talking about all water that you are ingesting. So that includes the water that you're drinking, but also the water that you are eating. There is a significant amount of water in both fruits and vegetables as well as other foods, and so that needs to be taken into account. The Sports Nutrition Handbook goes on to say that about 80% of your daily water intake is going to come from the water that you're drinking, and the remaining 20% is going to come from the foods that you're eating. So what that means is that if we take these total daily intake recommendations, if you take 80% of 3.7, it's going to be just about above 3 liters of water each day. And if you take 80% of 2.7, it's going to be about 2.2 liters each day. So those would be the average recommendations in order to prevent yourself from becoming dehydrated. Now, the easiest way that I have found, what personally has worked for me in order to keep myself from becoming dehydrated, is that I use these large water bottles. So I've had some type of large stainless steel water bottles for many years now. These are the most recent ones that I got. They're about 1.1 liters each. And so what I do is that before I go to work each day, I make sure to fill each of these up. And sometimes I will add in a small amount of an electrolyte tablet, 1 just to give it a little bit of flavor, and then 2 just to help with the absorption a little bit better. But I make sure that before I leave work that I have finished both of these water bottles. That way I know that I've at least gotten in 2 liters of water just from the fluids that I'm taking in. Then when I get home, I kind of let my schedule dictate how much more water I end up drinking. So say I'm going to go exercise, I'm going to go run sprints outside in the field, me and Atlas are going to go out there. If I'm going to do that, then I will make sure to fill up another full water bottle and make sure to add more of the electrolyte tablets in there. That way I can prevent myself from becoming dehydrated, because especially living down here in Florida, I end up sweating a lot when I'm exercising hard. And so you need to make sure that you are replacing those fluids. Now, if I'm going to be at home and I'm not going to exercise that day, then I will just kind of let my thirst gauge how much water I'm going to drink throughout the rest of the day. I know that I've already taken in at least 2 liters, not counting the food that I have been eating. And generally, if I just kind of let myself go, I will end up having I'll have multiple 8-ounce glasses of water. And so I end up getting around 3 liters depending on, how much I actually end up drinking. And I became pretty obsessed with my hydration when I was in PA school. For about 6 months, I was taking a medication called Accutane, which is for skin issues, and it's a pretty hard medication. And if done incorrectly, if it's taken incorrectly, it can actually end up causing some serious problems. And one of the things that you really need to be good at when you're taking this medication is you need to remain very well hydrated so that your body can adequately process the medication that you're putting in your body. And so I made sure to always have my water bottles when I was in there, and I have just kind of kept up this habit. Now, for those of you that don't have something that's pushing you, that's why I really think it's good. Get yourself a couple of large water bottles and just bring them with you each day when you're going to work or you're going to school. That way you can keep yourself accountable. Another option is that you can set alarms on your phone so that it's going to remind you to drink, but having, multiple, especially if we're saying 8-ounce glasses isn't even enough, that means you're going to have about 10 8-ounce glasses a day or more, so having like 10 alarms go off might be a little bit ridiculous. That's why I think that the water bottles is a much easier way to keep yourself accountable and see how much water you're actually drinking. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to help out. So again, this is Floyd Meyer reminding you to drink better so that you can do more.